Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Diablo Immortal announcement, and I'll give you guys my thoughts and my reaction to it, but if you guys do want to watch it without my commentary, it'll also be pinned down there below. But let's get started.
Our hope hangs upon you, my friend.
Hello everyone, this is Wyatt Cheng from the Diablo Immortal team. At the start of this year, we wrapped up our technical alpha, and the team was energized and encouraged by the warm reception we received. We are now entering our next phase of development. We'll be introducing some of our endgame content for testing, while continuing to iterate and improve on existing systems.
My crusade continues.
To start, Alpha 2 introduces a new class, the Crusader, and we'll be raising the level cap from 45 to 55. Players will continue the main quest storyline through two zones: Mount Zavane, home of the monks,
1,001 gods strike through me.
and the frozen tundra, where the scattered barbarian tribes reside.
I am Blade and Fury incarnate.
Players will also discover a new dungeon, Cavern of Echoes, where a powerful relic is guarded by a giant frozen terror who seeks to keep its power for their own.
It seems your journey continues.
The next alpha patch also introduces the Cycle of Strife, a social endgame system where players will fight as either the Immortals, who protect and defend Sanctuary, or as the Shadows, who fulfill a sacred duty to keep the Immortals from becoming power mad or complacent. Here's how the system works. All players start out as adventurers, questing for experience and loot. During their journey, they can choose to join the Shadows. Shadows can rise up and challenge the Immortals to become the new defenders of Sanctuary. There are multiple modes within this system, and one of them is Kion's Ordeal, a 48-person raid
48?
exclusive to the Immortals, and it provides unique rewards. The Immortals also have their own special vault, where they stash away their hard-earned spoils and riches. The Shadows are constantly testing the Immortals, and one of the ways in which they do that is by raiding that vault.
Feel my wrath.
Shadows will attempt to steal the riches within, but they need to be ready to fight if the Immortals come to defend it.
You will bleed.
You might be wondering, how do the Shadow factions overthrow the Immortals? Shadows can take part in simultaneous 8v8 battles versus the Immortals. And if the Shadows win these battles, the strongest among them will become the next Immortal.
Oh, this
is
is
only
awesome.
a first glimpse at what will be available to those who join the Cycle of Strife. We're hoping this system will be exciting for players who love the thrill of team-based PvP. Let's talk about another endgame system we're calling the Heliquary. The Heliquary features players taking down dangerous bosses. This will not be easy and will require significant preparation. A new boss is unlocked every month for players to challenge, and if players are successful in defeating them, they will earn powerful boosts to their character. Players will also discover a litany of new legendary items, legendary gems, an additional Paragon tree, 2 extra skills per class, new quests, and more bounties. We have so much planned for our next alpha phase, and we can't wait for more people to get their hands on Diablo Immortal. We want to thank everyone for their support. If you're not able to join us during this limited testing period, we'll be coming for you later. The team can't wait until you can all join us in Westmarch.
All right, that's actually really awesome to look forward to. I'm really excited about like the PvP. Now let me go ahead and actually talk a little bit more about it. I'll just have some Diablo 2 soundtrack going in the background. But anyways, as a Diablo fan myself, I was interested in trying out Immortal, and we did actually partake in the alpha earlier this year, and it feels very similar to Diablo 3, in case any of you guys wondering. We actually uploaded a bunch of videos, and if you guys wanted to see some of the microtransactions or some of the boss battles, I'll pin some of those videos down below as I was able to cover it. But in terms of like what they showed off, like, yes, we're gonna have new zones, we're gonna have new items, and I'm like, okay, I kind of expected that, but I did not expect that awesome 48 player announcement. To me, that's what I'm actually blown away by. I am so glad to see some action RPG at least try to do PvP, because if we even go back to Diablo 3's PvP, we never really got that structured PvP. The only form of it was eventually when they released it in that one battleground, right? When I played at BlizzCon a long time ago, before Diablo 3 was even in its vanilla state released, they had a structured arena for 3v3s, and it just never came out. So I'm actually more excited about the PvP really than anything. As a content creator, PvP really adds a lot more depth to content creation for build guides. Obviously, you have to think your PvE and PvP. Are they going to separate PvE skills from PvP skills, you know, in terms of like stun durations? And you have to factor in a lot of those other things for PvP. At first, when I saw that they were going to announce like Shadows and the Immortals, I was like, okay, it's just like you pick a faction, you maybe fight for it, whatever. But it's actually PvP, and that gets me super excited about it. But I'm also wondering, you know, how they're going to balance out the fights for very large scale battles. They said 48 players. Does that mean 24 versus 24? But they also mentioned it was 8v8. I think 4v4 would be a pretty good number, especially on a mobile game, because when you incorporate too many players on screen, there just could be a lot of things going on, and it might be difficult for someone to really understand how, you know, to dodge certain skills when there's just way too much going on. But the more that it can handle, it technically offers more potential, I would say, for really cool, like crazy videos, and I'm excited about that. But they mentioned it was 8v8, so I think, you know, I'm pretty optimistic now about like the longevity of the game, because honestly, when I played the alpha, we didn't have that many forms of endgame content. We basically would do these things called dungeons over and over again. And then we also technically had our dailies and stuff. And while they offered that one like monthly boss battle, that's kind of cool too. But I'm more interested in the PvP than anything here. But I'm more kind of curious to see what's the limit on what we can do with the gems. If you guys didn't know, gems are kind of tied to the end game content, and they're very difficult to acquire because you're going to need multiples of the same one to actually upgrade. Unlike in Diablo 3, you just do these like rifts and you'd be able to upgrade them as long as you were able to complete it on time. The gems, to upgrade them, it's an RNG drop. So that would be the only thing that I'd be concerned about for PvP, is like, how high can you level these gems, and how are they going to be implemented into PvP? Is there a limit to, like, you know, once your gem is past X rank, the stats don't matter? Some games do it like that. Or what's the balance going to be looking like for PvP? These are questions that hopefully will be answered when I get my hands on the next alpha phase. But looking at some of the moves, like some of these are, like if we see one of like the wolves that shot out, this is one thing I noticed that was new. Like there's the shield that has like, there's like a chance for like a wolf to summon. So some of these are kind of different items that we have that already exist in Diablo 3 that they're kind of reintroducing as, like, you know, newer forms of maybe skills, or let's say a legendary has a proc chance, and I'm totally fine with that. Honestly, I'm really blown away by the announcement of like that 48 player thing. Just something to at least add a lot more longevity again for a content creator, and just to keep playing, because when I played and did the bounties, and we didn't have, technically we also had like the rift system, that was another thing of like end game content, but you know, it was very similar to what already existed in the action RPG market. So, like I've mentioned several times already, I'm really happy to see where this goes, and also what other forms of endgame content can actually emerge into this. I would love to also see maybe some form of structured 1v1 PvP, but again, that'll be something that will probably come out. But I like the idea of at least having like kind of a team. Maybe you can randomly queue up. I don't know if you have to group up. Some games are like that. But also, I noticed right there, I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but one of the legendary gems that dropped looks like Gogok of Swiftness, which I don't believe was actually in the original Diablo Immortal Alpha, but it doesn't really look like you're picking a faction, which again was what I thought was going to be implemented in. And I'm wondering, like, if you're the Immortal, can you still get more of these like raids to go in and try to steal the treasure? Or once you're an Immortal, what benefit do you gain from just being there? Do you just get extra loot? If any of you guys have played Guild Wars 1, there's a thing called Hall of Heroes, where it kind of seems like it's like the same idea of like, once you hold it, you probably get some type of rewards, you know, once in a while, or like you'll have to like defend, and if you are successfully at defending, you know, what will you be getting in terms of the rewards? Does it get greater and greater? Because it started stacking up pretty hard. And that can also make it so people that are super powerful may remain there for a very long time. And to actually counteract this, what they would do is they'd make it 1v1v1 is in terms of the teams. So there'd basically be 3 teams going in. Otherwise, if one team is like too built up, maybe no one's going to be able to defeat them. But that would be part of, you know, content creation in terms of like watching, you know, the greatest streamers have this core team and they're the best players and they hold the Immortal Hall forever. I'm just thinking about so many ideas for content creation, and man, Diablo Immortal, I'm really looking forward to playing it. And if you guys haven't played it, definitely check out some of my videos. It's honestly very similar to Diablo 3, and if you guys like Diablo 3, I think you guys will really like Diablo Immortal as well. And even visually, the game still looks really good to me personally. I think that it would be very smart for them to actually release a PC version of this that you can even co-op and cross-play with your friends. That would be so awesome for them to do. It really would bring a lot more light into this game in terms of like just adding a lot more players into it, because I know some people, they don't want to sit on their phone. It would be so awesome if they released a PC port version of like an official one. Obviously, we'll probably try to use BlueStacks, Nox, and all the kinds of emulators to get it running. That's what I'm going to be definitely doing, because at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of like the small touchscreen. But they also mentioned that they may actually support controllers because it was a thing requested. But anyways, I'm ranting on and on now. I'm just really excited that we have like some form of new variants of PvP other than just go in and fight. You have like some sort of like incentive, some sort of reward, and that's really awesome to hear. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video. You guys can let me know your thoughts down below on Diablo Immortal. But anyways, take care guys, and check out some of the videos that I linked down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.